Hey y'all, today I'm going to talk for a bit about an app that I recently came across called Taskable. I really don't remember how I came across this app, but I wanted to show it to you all because it's somewhat newer and I'm sure a lot of you don't know about it. So first of all, Taskable is a web-based application and they just recently came out with a desktop application that I've tried using without success, unfortunately. So I'm just going to focus on the web version. So first is just the interface. It's pretty basic. There's not a lot of bells and whistles and it doesn't look necessarily super appealing, but there's a couple things about it that I like. And so I'm just going to walk through what the setup is, talk about some things I like about it and some things I would change. So the first thing you're able to see are these tabs that are across the kind of the middle top of the screen. There's 5 tabs altogether: today, all, inbox, due, and done. So the today view is going to be different from the due view in that you are able to essentially customize what shows up under this today view. You're able to indicate whether or not you're going to actually work on something today, and you would just have it be in the today view, versus something that's due, which means it actually has a due date of whatever today's date is, or old things are going to be in here as well. All is of course going to be all of the items that you have. A little bit of clunkiness here is to move something to your today view. The only way you can do it is from this all tab. You literally just drag and drop it, which works well, but I wish that you could drag and drop between tabs. I think that would make things a little bit faster and cleaner. But this works just fine. This essentially would show you all of the tasks that you have to do, things that are scheduled for today, stuff that's blocked. Let's just call this waiting for, things that are coming up next. We could call this next actions, and then someday maybe, which is obviously the someday maybes. The inbox is going to be all of the things that you need to input right away, just your basic inbox. Again, just from a user perspective, I wish the inbox was either, maybe all the way to the left or one of the first tabs that you got on. I'm not really sure why it ends up in the middle, but it is what it is. And then due, of course, is all the things that are due and overdue. I do like this counter that tells you the number of things that you have due and the things that you have overdue. Although I would say, again, for me, as someone who uses due dates the way that I do, I wish that the things that were due would also show up in the today view. So it's showing me 2 of the 3 things that have due dates, and all of them are past due. So I'd have to actually drag this, again, from the all tab. I'd have to drag it over from the all tab. I'd have to drag this over to today in order for it to even show up today. So I really don't like that I would have to do that. And then done, obviously, is going to be all the tasks that you've either completed or archived. Creating a new task is pretty easy. You just hit new and then write your new task. This is the first word that pops into my head. And then it would show up in your inbox. You're able to do a couple things with tasks. You're able to put a due date, of course, make it repeating or not repeating. It only has daily, weekly, monthly, or annual recurrences. It doesn't have, every 2 weeks or every 3 months or anything like that. So that's one area of feedback that I gave to the folks at Taskable. It also kind of builds in the effort and impact, which I think is a little bit different. So the effort can be, small, medium, large, or extra large, and then the impact, small, medium, or high. There's a little color coding depending on the effort and the impact, but they don't really stand out a ton. I wish this is more pronounced so that you're able to see just very quickly at a glance stuff that's maybe low effort and high impact, or, maybe medium effort and high impact. Space would be essentially comparable to like a project. So you would add a new space here. Let's call this make a toy car. I don't know what project this is. We'll just roll with it. So you're able to add a new space here, and that would be like the project that you would have it connected to. You're able to add labels, which I like as well. Of course, I'm a big fan of labels. And then any kind of notes that you want to have in here. Make sure you press save to save those notes. And then you can add like sub-steps, which is kind of cool. The only thing with sub-steps though is they don't show up outside of this task. So you'd have to actually be looking at this toy car task in order to even see these side steps. So that's one thing that I wish was a little bit different. Then when you mark this as processed, it moves it out of your inbox, which I also really like because you don't have to then go from your inbox and then move it to another project or move it to another space. You can essentially just check a box that says, yes, I've addressed this item, get it out of my inbox and into this all area, which is where it's going to land. So eventually, as you could imagine, if you're using this for a while, one thing that I could see happening, particularly in this area, is there would be so much information. So there's a keyword filter over here. So you could filter by a label, you could filter by a space, you could filter by words, which is really nice. So that would help to make things not as chaotic and cluttered. Then you're able to see all the labels individually and go to a specific label if you want to and just see those labels. You're able to, again, with spaces, same thing, kind of filter out spaces. One thing is that there's sort that's here. Essentially what they're doing is the suggestions, that the thing they're always going to suggest first is low effort, high impact tasks. And I don't know how I feel about that because I want to see basically everything. So I don't just want I don't want Taskable or some kind of algorithm to decide for me, oh, the only thing that you should recommend that I do at any given point in time is low effort or medium effort, high impact things, because I don't always want to do those things. And that's not necessarily all the things I want to do first, though I can understand why maybe I should want to do those things first. I don't. So I'd probably defer to due date as being the sorting mechanism for me. So the setup is not the cleanest interface. It's not the most intuitive, but there's some really cool things that you're able to do with it. On the Today page, one of the things that Matt told me that they have in the works is Google Calendar integration. So any meetings that you have would be pulled in right along this meetings. I love the idea of being able to see the tasks that I have coming up for any given day right next to the meetings that I have for any given day. Along the side here, there's also some little menus that you could use. They have templates. The templates are really heavily leaning towards like entrepreneurs or startups. So another piece of feedback that I had for the folks at Taskable is to try to expand that a little bit. But one of the great things is they do provide you the opportunity to submit your own template. When it comes to upgrading, the free version does come with a trial that's 14 days, I believe, and you can upgrade to Pro if you enjoy using it and want to continue using it. It's $10 a month or $100 a year. Honestly, based on where they are right now, I think that is a bit too much money compared to what some other programs are able to offer. That being said, as they're a newer program, I think there's something about, kind of getting in at the ground floor of something and being part of it while it's being built. They're very, very open to feedback and they're really transparent about things that they're working on, things that have been suggested and things that they've launched. So it's just really great to be able to give user feedback to a program and organization and actually feel heard. There are a total of 5 people that are pulling this together. So pros and cons of working with a smaller team, but definitely a cool tool to check out if it's something that you're interested in. If you are interested, they did offer me a referral code where you and I could get 25% off a subscription to Taskable. The code is going to be in the description box below if you're interested in that. But like I said, they do offer a free trial, so definitely check it out first. So let me know in the comments below what you think about Taskable, if you've used it, or if you have other comments or feedback. I imagine the folks from Taskable will be watching this video and they would love to hear your feedback if you use it. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your week.